And Neil, that was a really hard-fought game.
Yeah, I expected it, Tony. I watched them play in midweek and they got what looked a good, well, it was a good hiding at Warrington. Well beaten. The scoreline suggested that. If you'd have seen the game, it was, you know, it was hard to think that they got beat because they played ever so well. The goalkeeper didn't do particularly well for a couple of the goals, and Warrington were clinical. But they had as much of the game as Warrington. I thought it'd be a dangerous game. What they've got is good players, good footballers, without having a real thrust up front, and we handled them fairly comfortably, I think.
You went into your 5-3-2 formation, obviously, and that paid off because Scott Warner, for a defender, turns up with an absolute screamer curling that ball into the top corner.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bonus to us when one of the centre halves bends one in from the edge of the box. We're not expecting that. We are expecting goals from the centre half, but not shots from the edge of the box. I think I said to you last week, not sure we've got more than 2 goals in the team when you're missing the calibre strikers that we've got, so I'll settle for that. But it sounds obvious now, if we'd have kept the clean sheet last week, we'd have had 2 more points. We didn't, we did today. And that pleased me as much as anything, that we restricted them to, particularly in the second half, shots from long range. And to score from a set play again, which is, I think, our 5th goal from set play in the last 3 games. So that's pleasing, like I say, when you haven't got the attacking force that we might have.
And Tim took that second goal with the way we expect him to do, but it was a quality ball in by Billy. He was driven across, and Tim, he only had to get his head there, and it was going to go in.
Well, what we work on is getting. We're not going to score with a high ball into the box from that distance, so it's going to be a lower ball in, and we're expecting our players to get across their markers, and Gricey timed his run to perfection. It was a bullet header and the goalkeeper had little chance.
They brought an interesting player, Ucek Bulam, on, and he's played at a higher level. He's finding himself a little bit out of favour at his own club, but he could have been an handful and actually got a shot off, which we had a little bit of a disagreement, because I thought that Danny pushed it onto the post. Dave didn't think he did.
He did, but he didn't push it onto the post.
On the bar, sorry.
Right. Yeah, sorry, that one. Don't know about. I'm not siding with any of you.
Should I tell you what? It shows the maturity of your defenders and they're coming on, because Ucek Bulam could have caused a real problem going up front, because he got a lot of pace. He was a completely different product to Myers.
Yeah.
And he caused problems at first, but they quickly worked him out.
Yeah, we learned a little bit from last week. I think I said for the second goal last week, I'd have a look at them, and when I did, that Ollie wasn't far enough across to give Josh any cover. That was different today. They were covering one another. The gaps weren't as big. But you're right. He played on the right in midweek, and then went down the middle. But anybody with pace like that can cause you problems. But they did. They covered one another well and nullified him well, I thought.
Mitch Glover come on for his first appearance, and the first ball was pinged across at him, and he took it on the chest beautifully. What can we expect from somebody like Mitch Glover?
Well, technically he's very good. He came as a midfield player. Don't think he's going to get into this midfield. But while we're short of firepower, we've been practicing and training with him as a second striker, playing up alongside Gricey. I feel as though he's low centre of gravity and he can get his turns. And like I say, technically he's good. Not sure about his goals record, but I know he'll keep the ball up there and he might combine with Gricey and likely to play somebody in. So, he only went on for 10 minutes or so, but I thought he did everything right.
And obviously you're missing Rob Stevenson, you're missing Dan Tricky-Smith, you're still missing Grove, you're missing Wakefield. How far are those players off, Neil?
Well, Grove's had a little bit of a setback this week. The diagnosis wasn't a good one when he went up to the doctors at the NHS. It was almost as though they wanted to get him out of the building quickly. So that wasn't for it. He should have had a boot on. for a few weeks. He hasn't, so he's now put a boot on. So he's reasonably pain free. We think that the bones have healed, but we're not sure. There might be a bit of a problem further down the foot, ligament, tendon, that sort of thing. But hopefully he's going to wear the boot for at least a week, which is setting back a little bit. But we're hopeful that when he gets it off, that problem isn't there, or the problem that he's got now, and he can, start building up his rehab.
And Rob and Dan Trickey-Smith?
Dan, I thought Dan might be fit for this weekend, but it's proving to be slow. It's an abductor problem, which is in the groin, and they can linger, those type of injuries. But he said he's felt a little bit better the last few days. There's a possibility that he could train on Thursday, and if he does, he comes into contention, providing he comes through unscathed. He's in contention for the weekend, for next weekend. Rob's still in pain. Our physio has diagnosed a bruised bone, which may be the case, but we might have to delve into that a little bit further.
So concerns continue, and young Jack Wakefield, of course, picked up that injury that we saw down here, ended up on crutches, or something on crutches. I take it he's progressing nicely. It's
a long one with Jack. It's going to be, it could be a long time. It could be, 6 to 9 months with that type of injury.
I didn't realise it was...
It's an ACL. It was diagnosed last Thursday before. So he ain't going to play this season, and I would imagine that it'll be well into next season, providing everything goes right. I'm always concerned when they don't operate on them injuries. They try and rehab them. My worry is that it isn't right, and then 6 to 9 months down the line they say, oh, he needs an operation, when it could have been done first and foremost. So listen, the lad's gutted, and we're all gutted, because he not just because he did a good run of form, because he's a young player, and at one time they were career-threatening injuries. They're not so much now, but it's still a long time out. He's young enough to bounce back from that, and he's a determined young man, and I'm sure he will.
I hope he does. He's a decent lad as well, by all accounts. So we give him all best wishes, because an ACL is, at that age is. In fact, actually, I think he pulled it.
On the day, I thought that's what it probably was.
Yeah,
and, I hoped it wasn't.
It's worse than a broken leg.
Yeah.
You recover quickly from a broken leg, but we're all with him, and we look forward to him rejoining the group whenever.
Neil, thanks for your time again. It's 2-0. We march on again next week, and let's see if we can keep putting pressure on those above.
That's right. That's what we can do.
Thanks very much. That's Neil Baker, and this is Moorlands Radio.